an echo back. When you hear them echo, I'd like for you to sing with them, okay? Makes no difference what you're going through. You're gonna make it. God's gonna see it through. Hold your head up, put a smile on your face. This is another test, it won't last always. Get ready for your blessing, Get ready for your miracle, Get ready for your blessing, Get ready for your miracle. Let me encourage you, it's gonna be alright. Troubles and trials come to make you strong. Keep on believing, you keep holding on. Get ready for your blessing, Get ready for your miracle, Get ready for your blessing, Get ready for your miracle. Now I want everybody to know that God's got a blessing for you. So you're going to sing it and make it happen. Y'all ready? Yes. God's got a blessing. Let me hear it. God's got a blessing. 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 With your name on it. 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 How many of you believe that God's blessing is in your heart? And if you sing it along with me, it can happen. Here we go. God's got a blessing. 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 With my name on it. With my name on it. God's got a blessing. 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 My name on it. My name on it. My name on it. My name on it. My name on it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Celebration Spirit. We're so grateful you're here. We're so grateful for this community. We're so grateful for what we're creating here, which is pretty phenomenal. This community is created by you and for you, and we are a community of radical inclusion and love, and that's who we are.
Yes.
So if you want to know anything about what's going on in the community, either ask the Reverend or anyone with a yellow badge on. They should be able to tell you what's going on. If you could advance it to the... This is our statement, a little bit like a statement of faith, but it's a declaration of who we are. So if you agree with it, then please repeat it with me. So together, we are founded on principles that support the evolution of consciousness. We recognize that every human is an expression of God, filled with divinity. Every gender, race, sexual identity is welcomed. Yay. Well, the announcements are that a family that plays together stays together. And so what we've done is one of our members, Kirk Kelso, he's in a play called Once on This Island, and Gio has very graciously said that she'd organise tickets. If we get 10 people, we get a discounted ticket, and that's $34 for regular adults and $32 for seniors. Make sure you email her, geodogs@att.net. It's on Friday, June 16th at 7:30. We may even go out for a meal beforehand as well. So if you want to come, then just make sure you get. It really has to be. She wants to buy the tickets this week. So email her, let her know, and we're going to have a fabulous time. Gay Pride. This is how many times in church have people of LGBTQ plus not felt welcomed?
Yeah.
This is our statement.
Yes.
Gay Pride Sunday,
Yes.
June 25th. Be here. Invite as many people who have been told by church that they are not loved.
Yes.
They're not loved by them. They're not loved by God.
Yeah.
Invite them.
Mhm.
New home. Those of you who've been to this new home have seen the sanctuary, and I've seen some of these musicians walk up and down the stage going, "Ooh, I like this. I like this. This is good." However, the sanctuary holds 250 people. You better start inviting Facebook friends, because we need to do some stuff. We need to do some spreading of the word. We need to do some marketing. It's a fabulous new place. They're incredibly welcoming. Anyone who's been in the Enneagram class on Thursday nights get to see it. That's where we hold the class. And now, I'm going to invite Jeff Wages. He's going to do our opening prayer.
Yay, Jeff! Yay!
Thank you. Dear ones, if we can center ourselves as we move into opening prayer, gently move into a place of stillness, closing our outer eyes and coming into a relaxful, peaceful posture. Take a deep breath and find that quiet place within you as we move into our inner knowing. Focus on breath. Let go of the past. Let go of the future. There is only one moment, and that moment is now. Feel the connection to Source, Spirit, Mother, Father, God, the universe, the divine all-knowing. God is working in our lives right now, and we affirm this in prayer. We join our hearts and minds together as God's love flows in and through us. As we turn within, we release our outer concerns and allow God's peace and love to fill our awareness. We become aware of God as a living, loving Christ presence. Let us pray and give thanks for this time together and for the presence of God in our lives. In quietness now, serenity and love enfold us. We experience the silence that is God's perfect peace, and in this peaceful awareness, we feel the power of divine love. Let's focus our thoughts on this love that God has for us and the power this love has to guide, heal, and bless us and everyone we hold in the sacredness of this moment, in the sacredness of God's love. Because we know in our inner sanctuary that God and love are the same, that we are the same. We are made in the image of God. God is love. Thus, we are love, and we are a manifestation of God, meaning that we are God, perfect in our imperfections. As we are made in the image of God, everything that we are, everything around us, everything that happens is a manifestation of God. There is no right or wrong, no good or evil. Feel the inner peace, the inner knowing that God and love are right there within you, inside you. God and love are you, as there is no separation. It is all oneness. We are all one within ourselves, with each other, with the universe, and with God, the divine. Now that we have chosen to trust, we allow God to be in charge. As such, perfect results are unfolding, and God is bringing forth the highest good. Thank you, God, for the abundant good now flowing forth to meet our every need. Thank you, God, for your love that heals in every way, transforming sadness to happiness, chaos into peace, and sorrow into love. Our hearts are filled with gratitude as we let go and let the power of God do its mighty work in our lives. We worship today in the knowing that we are surrounded by love, and so it is. Amen.
Every time I look back, and every time I think back on all the stuff I've been through, I prayed through, I cried through, and then I tried you. And just when I was about to fall, your love called me when you made my call. Jesus, you keep on looking out for me. Every time I look back, and every time I think back on all the stuff I've been through, I prayed through, I cried through, and then I tried you. Just when I was about to fall, your love called me when you made my call. Jesus, you keep on looking out for me. Remember when the doctor said, he said he couldn't help you out. Remember when the money was getting low, you're hurting, now you're feeling low. Just when thought the night would never end, the sun came out, you can smile again. Jesus, you keep on looking out for me. You keep on. Remember when the doctor said, you said he couldn't help you out. Remember when the money was getting low, you're hurting, now you're feeling low. Just when thought the night would never end, the sun came out, now you can smile again. Jesus, you keep on looking
phenomenal. Thank you. That comes called music out of these four voices. Oh my God. You filled up the sanctuary. You shifted our energy. We love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm biased, I know, but Kim is an amazing music director, and we are just blessed, so thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. I'm glad that you're here. We're going to be talking about something strange. Like, is God really only good all the time? What about those times when, you got a diagnosis that didn't seem really good? What about the time when you may be financially struggling? What about those times where you just felt hurt? Is God really doing good by you? There is a religious term for this kind of search, this kind of conversation. You know, when you're looking at the existence of evil in a world when we say or know or understand that God, the good, exists. And so the term for that is known as theodicy in religion. Theodicy. And it's trying to make sense of the world that we see. And right now we are in a dilemma, are we not? We are in a dilemma where we're looking and kind of trying to make sense of things that are going on that we may label as bad or evil. And how do we deal with this when we've got this kind of duality going on in our lives? So I think if we look at that God is omnipotent, right? That's all power, and omniscient, all-knowing, that's God. Then why would God allow these crappy things to happen? Well, it would be really easy to think that, maybe God ain't really that powerful to stop this stuff. Or maybe God just doesn't care enough about us to prevent these things from happening. Now, it's a normal mindset and thought to have, especially when we are witnessing the unraveling of the moral compass in this country. I think it's a really important discussion for us to have. And I don't know about you, but there are moments where I'm thinking, divine intervention would be really good right now. You know? And then the reality of God doesn't work that way. That we are divinity. We are the ones that have that power. So, theologians, they do a lot of talk and research about God and why things are the way they are. And they have some reasons of why they believe evil exists. So here they are. Once again, we're talking about theodicy, right? So, the reasons for evil's existence. First, those pesky humans, they rebelled against God. So therefore, sin exists. And because sin exists, then evil exists. So that's one. The other one is that evil is an illusion, especially when you look at it over eternity, through the lens of eternity. Now, I've got to tell you that I'm kind of hovering here as that's a valid reason that evil is an illusion. Stay with me. The other one is that evil is an aspect of free will, that each of us has free will to do whatever is ours to do. And so if we want to be hateful, then hatred happens. If we want to be loving, then loving happens. That's the second one that I'm kind of hover around as well. And then an interesting one is that there are rules to God's power, So if we have free will, then God's not going to intercede. And then there's kind of like consequences and karma and those kind of things. I'm like, yeah. And then, of course, destiny. It's all in a big, greater plan than anything that we could imagine. So the two that I'm really going to spend some time with is evil as an illusion and that we have free will. Because I think that's relative and that makes sense for what we want to talk about. So, we're living in a time right now that feels a little chaotic. And maybe we've seen some things and rules that have come to pass that are hateful and hurtful to us or our friends. And it's kind of like, how do we make sense of that? And most importantly, how do we still maintain a relationship with God throughout all of this? So I want to talk to you about a story that I heard online, and it's really a powerful journey of a very Christian, evangelical Christian woman and her spiritual journey through trauma. She was raised in this particular denomination from the time that she was a child, and she adhered to all of the rules. You know, no kissing before engagement, so she waited for engagement. The leader, the spiritual leader, told her who she should marry, and she married that person, and did not engage in sex until after marriage. And they're together, they're living their lives, and she's pregnant with their first baby, their first child, a daughter. And around 35 weeks, the baby stops moving. And they're like, oh my gosh, they rush to the emergency room where they're told the baby died. This is almost full term. Their little girl died. And her first thought is, why would God allow this? Why would God allow this? I've been good. I've done everything that was asked of me. But you know, she believes in her role of motherhood. So shortly after, she tries again to have another baby, and she miscarries 2 times. And at that point, they get doctors involved, and they're doing testing, genetic testing, and they realize that there's a chromosomal abnormality, that if they have children, they're not going to be healthy. So they advised her not to have children. Now here she is. She has been conditioned from the time she's a child that her role in life is to be fruitful and multiply. That is what she's here for. That's what the church told her. And eventually, despite the doctor's warnings, what she did is she had several healthy kids. And after she had those healthy kids, she left the church. She left the church. You see, the horrible event of her daughter's death was a catalyst for her to start questioning reality, questioning her beliefs. She allowed herself to be angry with God. She asked the really hard questions. Does God exist? And if God exists, what is God? She looked at the church's beliefs. And were those beliefs her beliefs? And then she also looked at what is a woman's worth? What's a woman's value? What's a woman's role in our society? So, what about you? Do you remember a time where you had an event in your life that challenged your very identity? I know I've had that. That kicked me off on my own spiritual search. And my hope is that you gave yourself permission to ask those hard questions and also to be angry with the God of your understanding. So in this story, the mom realized that her anger was at the God of her church's understanding. Get that? Yeah. And that was the God that took her baby away because of her sins. Now, how does she know that it was because of her sins? Because members of her community told her that. Do you hear me? Because that was the type of God that was written in the Hebrew Bible. This God of obey my rules or get smited, right? I like to, I'm using this word, it's not a real word. That God is just smiteful. Yeah. So from this incredible, painful experience of losing her baby, she really went through this process of questioning. And she realized that her knowledge of God was really erroneous, and that it was created through patriarchal human men lens, through their lens. And through her child's death, she got to question, what is truth? What is God? What is Christianity? What is patriarchy and control? Through her child's death, she also found her voice, found her truth, and found her freedom. So she, coming through the other side, knows that God is love. She also knows that we are here to be love in expression as well. And she knows that without her daughter's death, she would never have questioned. She would never have questioned her beliefs at all. So now how do we see evil in New Thought? How do we understand good and bad? So first I want to just say to you that we don't believe that there is the Satan running around directing people to behave with malevolence. We don't believe that. And I'll tell you why that we don't believe that in a moment. First, I want to tell you what we do believe. We see evil as a negation of God. Evil is a negation of God, and it leads us to this false belief in duality, that if something is good, that means then something has to be bad. We believe that there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, and that when humanity separates from source, from this truth, from their own truth, that they are divinity in skin, what we do is we bring negativity and harm into the world. So, with the awareness of knowing that everything is God, it helps us then shift from that duality into remembering there is only oneness. There is only oneness. Now I gotta tell you, I don't think many of us would actually start that journey as early as some of us did without a catalyst. I started, I think I was about 24 when I started my spiritual journey. And the other time that it happens is when we get to midlife. When we kind of get past we're all about our looks and physicality and the pleasure of our senses. When we kind of get past that, and we're now looking for purpose and meaning. So it's either a catalyst when we're early, or then kind of by midlife, most of us are going through a search for meaning. And that's when we ask those big questions. Does God exist? And if so, what is God? And for some folks, when they get to that place where they're asking that question, they get really afraid. And then they double down on their theology from childhood. And then there are others that are fearless and they're willing to step into the abyss, trusting that they are going to come out the other side wiser and blessed. So, this lovely person went through the abyss. Now, most of us here in New Thought, we've come from someplace else. We've come from other denominations, whether it's Judaism or Presbyterian or Methodist or Seventh-day Adventist or Islam or wherever it is. We come from somewhere else to get here. But most of us have learned from our theology of origin, our churches of origin, that God lives in heaven and sits on a throne where this male patriarchal God judges people who are good or who are bad. If they're good, where do they go? Heaven, yes. And if they're bad, then where do they go?
Texas.
Hell. Oh my goodness, yes. So keep in mind that when this kind of idea, the concept of a patriarchal relationship to a child was put in place, that it was from an ancient people. That this is not God, right? But it's an ancient people who wrote in the book of Genesis around 1400 BC, right? 1400, so that's like what? 3,423 years ago. I'd like to think that our consciousness and wisdom has expanded since then, right? Let's hope. And did you know that hell was not written about until about 110 CE? See, Jesus didn't talk about hell. Jesus spoke about Gehenna. Gehenna was the dump outside of ancient Jerusalem, where people put their refuse in and it was burned. It would just be a continuous fire pit that people would throw their refuse in. That was Gehenna. But you know, the church fathers, in their wisdom, decided, how do we get people to be in compliance? Well, let's scare them to death. Almost literally, right? And let's be able to control them. And so this is where hell came into being, of this fiery pits of inferno for permanent condemnation, right? Permanent damnation. So isn't it interesting how it comes into the lexicon of theology? Why do I talk about this stuff? Well, I find it fascinating. You may not, so that's why. The other thing is that when we are awakening, it's our responsibility to do due diligence. Thank you. That was too many do's. Right? It's us to do the research to understand what are facts and what's fiction, what's a myth, what are truth and what are lies. That's what awakening means. Now, for those of you who don't know me really well, I love Emily Cady. And I love her because she's one of our early writers in the Unity movement. And she has just brilliance in defining things. And so I want to share with you her definition of God. God is spirit, or the creative energy that is the cause of all visible things. God as spirit is the invisible life and intelligence underlying all physical things. God is not a being or a person having life, intelligence, love, power. God is that invisible, intangible, but very real something we call life. God is perfect love and infinite power. God is the total of these things, the total of all good, whether manifested or unexpressed. I like that definition. It's pretty clear. You'll also notice that I've highlighted certain words, because when we come from other faith, sometimes there's baggage around the word God. And so I want to give you other words that you can use instead of God, right? Spirit, creative energy. What do I have there? Perfect love, infinite power, good, right? I say the allness of the universe, love, principle. All those words are describing the concept of God that we understand. Once I had a church community, and when I started there, they said, we don't use the word God. I'm like, excuse me? Yes, we don't use the word God from the pulpit. And I thought, okay, so that's some woundedness there, isn't it? Right? So while I'm inviting you to use other words for God, the other piece of that is it's ours to work through the trauma that we have. So yes, we spoke about God from the pulpit while I was there, So Katie also says that God is in every visible form, everything, from animate and feeling, breathing, to not. God is in everything, just to varying degrees of expression. And she likes to think that humans are the most complete expression of God. So we'll take that. All right. So let's talk about our experiences. The experiences that we have while we're here on planet Earth are really to support us. They're to support us in learning, shifting, transformation. And when we have certain understandings, we make decisions based on those understandings. We make our decisions based on the truths that, as we know it. Yes? Okay. So if we believe in separation, how are we going to act? Separate, right? We're going to use our intellect and logic, our ego and our fears to drive us in making decisions. So there's no evil there. It's just humans being afraid and filled with their own ego. But when we remember our truth, that we are divinity in skin, that we are the way that God sees itself in each and every one of us, experiences itself in every one of us, that we are here to be loved, then we get to create from love, from kindness. So in the story that I was sharing with you earlier about the mom, what she was able to do is she was able to reframe her child's death into a catalyst for her awakening. She went into the abyss, felt her anger, her heartbreak, and then came out the other side with this new awareness of what God really is, which is love. So, we get our biggest and quickest shifts from our experiences. I used to say when I was younger, pain is my greatest motivator, because that would make me have to shift and change and do the work. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore, right? But there are other ways, and one of the ways that we can do it is through sacred texts. So I don't know if you know the Sikh faith, but I love the Sikh faith. I got to really connect with that group. I think it may have been 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer, about 5 years ago. I went to a conference of the world religions, and it was in Salt Lake City, Utah. And it was really cool. I got to connect with all these different kinds of religions, and the Sikh faith, I just found them as just these gentle, loving people. It was really wonderful. Their sacred text is known as the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and it was created by several gurus between 1469 and 1708, and it really wasn't compiled started compilation until about 1604 by the 5th Guru, Guru Arjan Dev. And I love this quote because I really think that it supports us moving forward in a country that may have forgotten its truth. And it says, "Do not utter even a single harsh word. Your true Lord and Master abides in all. Do not break anyone's heart. These are all priceless jewels." Isn't that beautiful? And where we see true Lord and Master, just insert whatever word you use for God, right? But it's saying that God abides in all. Love abides in all. Light abides in all. Do not break anyone's heart. So if God is in everything and everyone, then it's all God. And we often just throw that out there it's all good, right? And then we go crazy and do weird things that you wouldn't expect people to do who believe it's all good, right? So I'm going to ask you this question. Is that good or bad? That's some Stilton cheese. All right, I got them all good in the back. Good? Yeah? Good? Nice. For me, it's a bad. Like, I don't like the smell, I don't like the texture, I don't like anything about this cheese. You know, Graham likes it. And he's like, yeah, honey, try this. I was like, why? Right? So notice in just this one silly example, it's just cheese. It's not good, it's not bad. But based on the lens that we use, how we view something, the labels come out, good or bad. Do you hear me? So today I'm inviting you to reframe things. You know those folks that you've labeled not of God, bad? No, they're just people. They're just people with divinity in them. And so from this new awareness, I'm hoping that you will send loving energy to them. Yes, even the folks that were like, what? Like, you want me to send loving energy to the folks who are banning books? Yes. You want me to send loving energy to the folks who are doing legislature for genocide? Yes. Yes. I'm asking you to do that. Because sending loving energy doesn't mean that we agree with them. We don't agree with the behavior. We're not in agreement. We are simply acknowledging that God resides in them as well. And when we send that energy, we are uplifting them. Hear that. We are uplifting them. You know, I saw a particular politician in the news this morning, and I went, oh, and then I went, oh, what are you preaching about, sister? And I looked at his photo, and I sent loving energy. I sent loving energy. Because here's the thing. We have to appreciate what they're doing from the perspective of they are bringing the shadows to the light. We cannot heal what we cannot see. So thank them for saying yes to this role of bringing the shadow to the light so that we can then heal it. So you know what your assignment is going to be this week, right?
Eat cheese.
Eat cheese! 2 of you! Ah, eat cheese. Yes, well, yes you can. And I want you to look at what have you labeled bad? What have you labeled evil? Pick one of them. Let's just start with one of them. Pick one this week and reframe it. Send loving energy. Reframe it, because God's in there too. I love you, and I think this was a juicy conversation, and I look forward to seeing what happens next week.
Weeping may come, remain for a night, but joy will paint the morning sky. You're there in the past, you're there in the feast, your faithfulness will always shine. Now every blessing still to come, let this be our song. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. I trust your ways, trust your ways, trust your name, trust your name. It is well with my soul. You lead us through battle, lead us through battle. You lead us through blessing, lead us through blessing. And you make us fruitful, you make us fruitful. In the land of the loving God. And it is well with my soul.
Just beautiful. Katie, I think, I don't know, she may have found her home, her soul, she was like all in it. Thank you, that was beautiful, Katie. And like a rock star up here. Oh, thank you. Yes, do it well. Okay. I'd like us to just take a moment to just be in joy. You know, it's like we don't have to have everything one way or the other. What I loved about that song, It Is Well With My Soul, that's an old hymn. That's a beautiful old hymn. Revamped our way, you know?
Yes.
So it's like, yes, and include and transcend, include and transcend. So I just want to remind you of that. I guess you want to do meditation now. Okay. All right, so if you're willing, just put your feet flat on Mother Earth, align your spine, allow that energy to flow as and through you. Take that nice deep breath in And then exhale and relax into your chair. If you're willing, close your eyes. And I want you to imagine with me that there is this golden light that shoots down from the heavens and it just circles this entire facility. That is the light of God, golden and beautiful, surrounding you, protecting you, keeping you safe. And this golden circle around you, this ball of light, is really flexible. And it allows you to do any type of energetic work knowing that you are completely safe. So with that in mind, we are going to connect our energy up through the golden circle, seeing it elasticize around our soul, our energy, as we shoot up and out. We are protected as we go to connect to the allness of the universe. You are blessed. Your soul, allow it to open. Allow the shields of protection to just drop. You are an energetic being first, and then about a second. So allow this time for your energy, your soul, to just expand beyond your physical body and shoot up, protected through the golden light of God. Push through and connect to source, to oneness. Feel the happiness and welcome. Feel the expansiveness that is you. And hear the words from God. All is well. Well done. And in this moment, as you connect, take time to just hear your truth. What? Why did you incarnate in this body? What is yours to do? What is your mission? How are you to be the expression of God as love in the world? Take a moment in the silence to hear your truth in the silence. At the sound of my voice, I invite you to have a moment of thanksgiving with Source, with all beings of light, and take a moment just to say namaste and thank you. And now bring your awareness and your energy back here into this sanctuary. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Feel the chair beneath you. Let your eyes open if they aren't open yet. Be present now. Namaste. So we have added an additional feature today. I've promised you transparency, and so monthly we have been going through and talking about our finances, and I'm inviting Graham to come up because we are in the process of forming the not-for-profit organization. Frances Jones, who's a lawyer, has waived her $2,500 fee for us and is doing it pro bono for us. So far we've only had to pay $185, which is the filing fee. And it takes about 3 weeks. So I believe she filed this week, and so 3 weeks. So I'm hoping by the time we move, we'll be solid. So that's where we are at. And so our corporation or whatever, it's myself, Graham, and we have a friend that we've known for about 10 years in Kansas City. Hi, Leslie. That is going to just be the core administratively for the business aspect of this. And I'm hoping that the core team that is here are the ones that are going to kind of shape how we move forward. So that's how we're dividing it up. So for May, we had operating costs of $1,240 per week, and our income decreased, and we're at $1,175 per week. So that's about 65 or 165? 65. That is 65 short each week. And I want to remind you, when we move to Cedar Park, that's going to be an additional $100 extra per week as well. So right now, if we were in Cedar Park, we would be $165 short. We tithe on the income that we take in. We are 10% tithers because we believe in the circulation of energy. That's all money is. The circulation of energy. So as we prosper, we see other people, and we are in direct agency to help other people prosper. That's what we believe in. And so the tithe was $470 from that, and we did $200 to A21. That's an organization that deals with prevention of human trafficking and slavery, and they're hoping to end slavery. So they do a lot of educating the public and working on trying to recover people out of that situation. The other one is we gave $200 to Project Transitions, and Project Transition is an organization that supports people who are HIV positive and getting them situated and getting the resources that they need. So I felt those two organizations were important for us to support. If you have other organizations that are local that you want us to support, please send us an email and let us know. And when you send the email, also send links that will prove who they are and the legitimacy of them. Thank you. And so you'll say, well, that's only $400. What happened to the other 70? Okay, it's coming. The attendance average is 31 for May. Did you want to jump in? Because I'm just talking a lot.
No, you keep going.
Okay.
I'm annoyed.
Okay, you're annoyed. I get it. So here's, Graham made these two graphs that I think are really powerful. It gives an idea of what's been trending for the last 2 months. So this is the attendance. So you'll see the trend. It's going in the direction we don't want it to go in. These are data points. You know, I keep saying these are data points. So this unfortunately can't continue because not only is it not sustainable, it's not survivable. Yeah. So, you know, the reason that I and Graham got involved in this is because we believe in the mission, which is to elevate consciousness enough that people are then out in the world making a difference. We need critical mass to do that. that is not critical mass. This is our income for the last 2 months. Once again, it's not moving in the right direction. Well, maybe it is moving in the right direction, right? What's right, what's wrong. But that's not the direction for sustainability, and it's definitely not thriving. So, my question to you is, if you were in my shoes, what would you be thinking at this point? And I'm willing to have a discussion around this in the fellowship hall. I'll be there after service. Because if we are not meeting a need, then there's something else that we need to be doing. So we need to have discussion around this. I believe in the work that I'm doing.
I do too.
Thank you. I believe that ours is really about talking about the issues that are going on in the world and then figuring out ways of making a difference around that. I believe that our mission needs to be outward facing, not inward facing. And that's very different for a Unity or New Thought community. We're normally inward facing. In October, I'm planning to have a community outreach where we as a community on that 5th Sunday, we're not going to be in church. We're going to be out somewhere doing something together. I've asked Renee Schwartz to head that up. So if there are organizations or things that people are in need, then please reach out to her or send me an email and I'll send it to her, info@preachitsister.com, for us to get together as a community making a difference in Austin. Did I miss anything? Okay. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that the Enneagram class, it's been really a joy. It's been a little taxing just because, I'm doing like a thing on preparing for Thursday and preparing for Sunday. But I've just gotten so much out of it, and I know quite a number of folks have as well. And so the operating cost is $560. But what that means is simply for the rental of the church room. It's normally $80. I asked for $60. They said $70. So that's where we get the number of $560 for 8 weeks. That's the income, and so the tithe on that is $99. We had 18 people registered. So that $99 plus extras, the extra $70 that was there, and there was an extra from a class that I did on unconscious bias before we were Celebration of Spirit. So that amount then went to an individual in need. That's part of our community. So that's how we are working. So I need to tell you that, I believe that God has put me here because this Northeast woman of color never wanted to live in Texas, I'm just saying. Texas was off the grid for me because I was terrified. I was terrified of the Deep South and how people will treat me being an outspoken person of color. So I don't think it's by accident that I'm here. I believe in the work that we're doing. And Graham and I are working incredibly hard. Yes. Incredibly hard. And I gotta be honest, we need help. Yes. We need help on doing, it's like the slides. I do the slides. Thank God for Kim, she's now doing the lyrics on those slides. It's like emails going out. Any social media posts. It's nonstop. It's a full-time job. And I need help. And I need help financially. How many of you here do a check-in when you arrive on your phones, like on Facebook, to say where you're at? How many of you people say on Facebook where you get spiritually fed? Because I'm not seeing any of those. And it takes an entire community for us to shift. It can't just be me posting.
You're right, you're right.
It's gotta be, we take the post, we share it, right? We say to people, hey, this is where we are, this is where I'm getting fed, this is like amazing. And if it's not, then we need to have another discussion.
Yeah.
But it takes all of us. We cannot be in this really small bubble about, well, we love how it feels. I'm glad. And we're here to do greater things. So, that's me and my soapbox.
Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. All an offering is an exchange of energy. You know, whether it's time, talent, or treasure, that's what it is. There's this flow of energy. So as we receive, we give. We do offering a little bit different here, where we don't pass a basket. If you would like to give something physical, you can give it to the ushers on the way out. We have electronic ways to give. There are the ways, all the different methods. The QR code will take you to the website that gives you all of those links, so you don't have to remember them. You want to move to the affirmation? So we as a community, this is what we believe about the flow of money and the flow of energy. So if you're willing to say it with me, let's do it. In this moment, I am grateful for the abundance that I have, grateful for the spiritual manna I receive today. As I give this financial blessing, I see it supporting this community in unlimited possibilities. And so it is. Thank you. Next week, Rev and I will be here, but we have a guest speaker, Renee Schwartz, and she will be talking about decoding your divine gift, exploring the mystery beyond. How many of us, when we step into our power, when we step into the gifts that we have been given, what can we achieve? So she's decoding your divine gifts, exploring the mystery beyond. I think it's time for the last song. Come on, musicians.
Come on, musicians, yes! We love you! So, we're going to ask that you all sing with us on this song. There's na-nas, there's a bunch of na-nas, and so I'm going to sing them right now for you, and I want you to echo, okay? So we can practice a little. So it goes na 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 na. Go. Na 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 na. The second one is na 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 na. Na 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 na. Good. All right, here we go. I took off my shirt, throwing the jacket, so stand up. Come on. Just woke up and feeling blue, baby's crying, bills are due. Haven't even left the house, already fighting with my spouse. Traffic moving super slow, hurry up, I gotta go. Why must people be so rude? I ain't even in the mood. Driving feeling like I'm spinning out of control. Life is too short not to dance every day. Turn that frown upside down, yeah, smiling away. Give a kiss, give a hug, give everybody love and don't let your situation make you change your disposition. I ain't gonna let nobody take my happy away. I ain't gonna let nothing take my happy away. I'll just say, hey, hey, things may not always go my way, but I just got a feeling that it's gonna be okay. Let go! Na 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 na. Okay. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Okay. Na 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 na. be okay. It's gonna 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 be okay. What's gonna be okay? This joy I have, the world that gives to me. This joy I have, the world that gives to me. This joy got nothing to do with what's going on around me, but it's what I feel on the inside that makes me feel. This joy I have, the world that gives to me. This joy I have, the world that gives to me. This joy got nothing to do with what's going on around me, but it's what I feel on the inside that keeps me happy. I ain't gonna let nothing take my happy away. I ain't gonna let nothing take my happy away. I just say, hey, hey, things may not always go my way, but I just got a feeling that it's ready. You better get your way to a happy place. You better put that smile up on your face. You better say, no matter what comes around, I ain't gonna let it bring me down. You better get your way to a happy place. You better put that smile up on your face. You better say, no matter what comes around, I ain't gonna let it bring me down. There's people everywhere, let me hear you say, oh yeah. I've been people everywhere, let me hear you say, oh yeah. Get up, move some, get up, move some, get up, move some, everybody, I ain't gonna let nothing take my happy away. I ain't gonna let nothing take my happy away. I'll just say, hey, hey, things may not always go my way, but I just got a feeling that it's gonna be okay.
That was awesome. You guys, I don't know. That's like you guys have just like exponentially grown like several people next to you. The sound was that good. Thank you. Yes, thank you. All right, so if you're willing, we'll close out this service with a prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Woo-hoo!
All right, we're gonna send you off with some nanas.
Yes!
Just woke up and feeling blue, baby's crying, bills are due. Haven't even left the house, already fighting with my spouse. Traffic moving super slow, hurry up, I gotta go. Why must people be so rude? I ain't even in the mood. Life is too short not to dance every day. I'm proud of my gown, yes, smiling away. Give a kiss, give a hug, give everybody love and know. Special situation, make you check your disposition. I ain't gonna let nothing take my happy away. I ain't gonna let nothing take my happy away. I'll just say, hey, hey, things will always go my way. But I just got a feeling that it's gonna be okay. Let's go! reason to rejoice. Oh, because I know my God is still in control. Life is too short not to dance every day. That frown upside down and smile your way. Give a kiss, give a hug, give everybody love and don't let your situation take your disposition. I ain't gonna let nothing take my happy away. I ain't gonna let nothing take my happy away. I'll just say, hey, hey, things may not always go my way, but I just got a feeling that it's gonna be okay.
Yes!
Thank you. My iPad died just now.